Hey there, Papper people. Do you ever have your CPAP mask on at night and next thing you know, 2-3 hours later, the mask isn't even on your head, you wake up and it's off, you don't even remember taking it off? Let's talk about what could possibly cause this. Now I know I'm putting off banker vibes with this collared shirt, but I assure you, I'm a registered polysomnographic technologist. Now this came up in one of my most recent PAP therapy analyses. The person was having really beautiful sleep. The breathing pattern was just immaculate. And then all of a sudden it would turn to absolute crap and the mask would always come off and he didn't know why. No idea why. So there's many reasons for this. Ultimately, I'm just gonna break it to you very quickly and succinctly. Oftentimes it's a lack of pressure issue. Now, in his case, there are very specific markers where he was moving to his back. And when he moved to his back, sleep was much worse. There were very clear apneas, very clear hypopneas. Now, if he stayed on what appeared to be his side, the sleep was beautiful. Everything looked great. So really what he had to do is be hyper-focused on staying on his side, and then that one specific pressure would work really well for him. If he ever wanted to move to his back though, he would definitely have to use a much higher pressure. Now I hear some of you screaming at the screen. You're saying, well, just put him on APAP. APAP. Just put him on APAP. It'll increase the pressure. APAP doesn't. The whole way APAP works is you have to have airflow reductions. You have to have flow limitations. You basically have to suffer to have that pressure increase. And even when it gets there, it starts dropping off. I'll do another video on that later. But it's definitely not a good way to go. So guess what I did for you, my little Papper friends, my little friendly Papper buddies? I sampled this myself. I suffered for you. And guess what happened? I took the mask off. So on one night, I stayed completely on my back. The next night, I stayed on my side entirely. Check out these results. Now here is some Oscar data to help really drive home what I'm talking about. What, Jason? Excuse me, Jocelyn, what's Oscar? Let me show you what Oscar is real quick. So we go to sleepfiles.com/Oscar and we can see Oscar stands for Open Source CPAP Analysis Reporter. It's a free download, hella awesome, super easy to import your data. Now you can also use Sleep HQ here. I have it set to a person. I can't pull that up right now because, confidentiality and all. Also a free program. But Oscar, I like to use on my own desktop because it's just a little easier for me to use. So here's what I'm talking about. Now, I have to select very carefully 2 specific nights because I had the same setup. I was using the Brevita, I was taping my mouth, I was using a product called a VCOM, which I will actually do a video on later. And in this day, I tried to stay on my side the entire time. Now I tried to prop myself up with pillows. Very important. Now we can go back to details. You can see all this other crap that doesn't really matter, but just look at my overall flow rate. Mostly flat, a little choppy for REM, mostly flat. It's a little choppier. I've since discovered 12 is probably more appropriate for me. But if we look at this, overall it looks pretty good. Doesn't look too bad. Now if we go on the REM periods, you can see it looks nice and REM-y. Pretty good, like right there, see? This is what we're trying to avoid. We don't want to have this stuff. I found, like I said, 12 is a little better for me, but we'll let that slide for now. So it looks pretty good. Leak rate, extremely low. Very few hypopneas or reras. We see a few in here, again in REM. But overall, pretty good. Okay, that was on my side at 11. Now, what happens when I make a concerted effort to stay on my back? Tried to stay on my back. I propped myself up with pillows on both sides of me. I have copious amounts of pillows thanks to my wife. Used the same mask, Brevita. I used VCOM. I also taped my mouth. The leak stayed down the entire night. But look at the entire night. Actually, let's go back to the 27th. The entire night here was a good almost 6 hours. If I go back to the 22nd, remember this is the night. Tried to stay on my back with 11. I only got 43 minutes. Why did I get only 43 minutes? Right at this point, I can tell you what happened. I ripped the mask off and I didn't even remember it. Pulled it right off. So right over here, I'm on my back. I'm falling asleep. And then look at this. Airway collapse. Choke. Fall back asleep. Obstructive apnea. At the same pressure. I'm just on my back. That's literally the only difference between the two. Okay, surely those are the only two, right? Oh man, my God. Look at all these airway collapses and awakenings. We have some that are exceptionally clear. There's another clear one. Really clear. Really clear. By the way, this is why I don't trust the machine-reported AHI. It just misses these all the time. Cruise along for a bit. Another fat hypopnea. Another hypopnea that they're calling obstructive apnea. Another hypopnea. And then at this point, mask comes off. Don't even realize it. Next day, feel like crap. Now, what can you do to stay on your side? Now, you can use pillows, of course, or because I have a sponsor of this channel, if Lego Man were here, he would say, "Oh, Jocelyn, excuse me, Jocelyn, can we find some parts to find some stuff?" So at cpapsupplies.com, hidden in the depths of parts and comfort accessories, you will find my good friend, if we look at everything, this thing right here. It is called the Sleep Noodle. There's other products called the Slumber Bump. Sleep Noodle is actually a pretty decent one. We used to use these in the lab every now and then. But basically what you do is you wear it around your chest. This big part is on your back, and it really just prevents you from staying on your back. It's pretty uncomfortable. So you stay on your side. Now, you can try to prop yourself up with pillows. $44 or $45 I don't think is very unreasonable. I actually think it's pretty good. Now, because I'm a thick boy, I would be ordering the large. Look at this, guys. FSA HSA eligible. Huh? Let's check out if we can save even more though. So now if I go to view and edit my cart, because I need this Sleep Noodle bad. Right here, if I put in 2020 lanky, what do we get? Well, my gosh, I just saved you $9. So you can get the Sleep Noodle for $36. Not too shabby. Back to the Oscar data though. This is just one reason why you may not be sleeping as well as you think you should. And this could be the reason why your mask is coming off in the middle of the night. At certain times of the night, your mask pressure is just simply inadequate to keep your airway open. It's kind of sucky, right? A lot of people like to lay on their back. I like to lay on my back. I do fine on my side. I'd really like to lay on my back. If I lay on my back, I have to turn the pressure up much, much higher. I'd rather just sleep on my side, flip-flop back and forth, than have to use a pressure like 14, 15 centimeters of water. It's just a little higher than I'm comfortable with. And ultimately, it's more trouble than it's worth. So I've just made a concerted effort. I'll just sleep on my side. And when I do, the mask stays on, I sleep all night, and I feel great the next morning. If I sleep on my back or I roll to my back, I notice things get worse. So I avoid it. Now, what do you guys think of this? Do you have to stay on your side? Have you noticed a difference where you'll have very beautiful periods of sleep and other sections that are just absolute train wrecks and you wonder why? Maybe look into this. It may be something positional. It also might be something positional combined with your pressure settings. If you're unsure of what you're looking at, you can always use my services at axgsleepdiagnostics.com. Thanks so much for watching this video. Remember, check out the sponsor of this channel, cpapsupplies.com. Remember, I have a brand new discount code, 20lanky. Use that instead of whatever else you got. And thank you very much for watching. Bye. Thank you to all watching, but an extra thick thanks, buddy, to Doug Toombs, Jason Georgiades, Patricia Espelong, Sarvesh Joshi, Stuart Hetherington, Mona Swearingen, Chungchu Chen, Edward Steiner, and Shannon Kerr, and another slightly less thick thanks, buddy, to all the other YouTube members, Patreon supporters, and other stuff.